did.
All right, how you doing? This is your boy Chronicle Mac. I'm here with Alonzo Hall from ABH Wealth Solution and my boy Jesse P. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about purpose part 2. We already did one a few weeks ago with my good friend Jesse. If you want to start us off, go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, let's do it. I'd like to say I remember crystal clearly where the conversation left off, because I left a topic to be marinated on, but I'm going to shoot from the hip, because on this particular subject, you can go anywhere with it, and it applies. You know, from birth, from coming out of the mother's womb, the name that you're given has both your destiny and your purpose tied into it. And that's something that most people take for granted, you know. And what I mean by that is not so much the name itself, but their name, the meaning of their name carries purpose. So, for instance, most people wouldn't even think, you know what, maybe I should look up the meaning of my name, Alonzo, and see what it means as per the Bible, or see what it means as per roots, where it comes from. If it's Italian in origin, if it's Greek in origin, you know. And back in those days, when they would give a child a name, they would bear the surname of the line of royalty that the child came from, plus a name that was either passed on from family member to family member, or something that carried meaning. Even still today, your name, both first, middle, and last, carries a meaning. And a lot of times when you look up the meaning of your name, it delivers your identity. So why you hear, again, I'm going to refer back to the Bible, because it says this straight out, that your identity is hidden in Christ. The way your identity is hidden, it has meaning, and that meaning of your name tells the story of your life. You'd be amazed by how many soldiers that are in the army right now, their meaning of their name has something to do with military, or has something to do with being a soldier, or, you know, something to that extent. And I mean, if anybody ever takes anything from this interview, I would hope that something as simple as looking into the meaning of their name could help change their life and point them into the direction that they're looking to go. There's many people out there that they're sitting there like, oh, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Or, you know, they're looking for purpose in their life, or what direction, what career that they want to progress into. A lot of times those careers are stepping stones to where you're meant to be and end up. But just knowing the meaning of your name gives you purpose. The purpose of your name was ordained before you were even born. For instance, the title of the video we did on the interview was, I believe it was something along the lines of the perspective of ûRIN, or something like that.
The purpose of ûRIN.
Yep. ûRIN is ancient Hebrew for breastplate. And breastplate is, we're talking about like spiritual armor, like an angelic piece of breastplate that you would wear to go into battle. My middle name means ûRIN. It means priest, and a priest also translates to oracle. So you've got priest, oracle, and the priest would wear a breastplate that was specific to him.
Okay.
So I didn't touch base on that in the first interview. I left it to be desired, because most people, they wouldn't even think, you know what, let me just Google search my name and see what the meaning of my name means. But at the end of the day, the very purpose of what you're doing in your career right now could be tied into your name, and you have no clue.
Very true.
Okay.
I actually want to speak to that, if I may. It's ironic. Are either one of you familiar with the artist Al Jarreau?
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay. Algero is a jazz singer.
The first.
Say again?
The last name sounds familiar, but not the first name.
Understood. Algero is a jazz singer. And he came out with a song called Alonzo Declares. Basically, ironically enough, you mentioned this. And the irony is my last name is Hall. When I was a child, or when my mother was a child, her father was a Jehovah's Witness. So when she was pregnant with me, she was going to name me Kingdom, to be funny, Kingdom Hall. However, the song Alonzo Declares, my uncle is a dancer, and he was dancing to the song Alonzo Declares. And that song, she heard him saying, Alonzo declares, he decides what he wants. He grabs the bull by the horns. And she decided to name me Alonzo. I, ironically enough, did some studying, and there's a few different areas that, ironically enough, my name comes from. The ethnic background in Italian and Greek, yes. But I believe in Greek, it was closely tied to Adonis, which is the incredibly handsome man, which I feel like I am. And then, but upon doing further research, it has a very, very heavy Spanish background. And in the Spanish background, it literally means noble and ready, or noble and ready to serve people, which is what I feel I do in my career. I'm really ready to serve people. Prime example, so much so that, like, with clients, I have a lot of clients that are my clients that I'm not making money from. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, there was a gentleman who had a life insurance policy from a company that I didn't represent. But I explained to people, I do policy reviews, and I review your policy for free. And why do I do that? Because 9 times out of 10, you have a policy or a financial product that you have no clue what it is, means, or does. So I like to give you the layman's terms of it. And then he broke down and showed it to me, and I was like, wow, that's great. He was like, yeah, but you're talking all this good stuff. I want to buy a policy from you. You've already told me this, that. I want you to get some money from it. I said, listen, the problem is me getting money from this policy would hurt you, because the type of policy you have and the way it's set up is it's going to pay you dividends, meaning you don't have to do anything but have that life insurance, and the life insurance company is going to pay you money. If I put you in this policy with this company, I'm going to get a nice check, but you lose your dividends. And I don't want you to lose your dividends. So I'm going to miss out on money because I want to help you. Do you know what this man did? He went, came to my house, picked me up in his Mercedes Benz, drove me to his house, and made me write a policy on his mother and his 2 daughters.
But at the end of the day, you're really building, besides the having the customer or client, I should say, in best interest, you're building a relationship, and that's in my opinion, it's more important to build that relationship, because the bridge of trust that you have with the client that you're going to do right by them is going to give you more business word of mouth than it would if you were just trying to be the typical guy selling them something and only interested in making the sale.
Right.
You know, I think priority for the relationship builds trust. The word of mouth advertisement that you get from the client is more valuable than that particular sale at that particular moment. And it's funny too, because when we were doing this, I looked up your name, and it says here that Alonzo means ready for battle.
Oh, wow.
That it has a German origin, and on the Spanish side, it derives from Alphonse, like Alfonso. You know, but your attitude is like you're ready. You know, and it's so funny because your first name again means ready for battle. And it's like, yo, you step right up to the plate. You're ready. Let's go at it.
Thank you.
Let's make this. And it, you know, again, the name serving purpose. And, who would think that you would hear something like this from somebody who's in the insurance business? Who, why would they look at you and just say, you know what, Alfonso, just another, I'm sorry, Alonzo, just another guy trying to make a sale? No, he's trying to build a relationship with you. He's trying to help you to understand that he's not there to take your money. He's there to build a relationship with you. And that's the feeling that I get. And having a platform like this for somebody to see another perspective of you, I think it's extremely, extremely important, because you're not only about your business, you're also about the relationship.
Yes.
And I appreciate Chronicle Mac up there for giving you and myself a platform to voice that.
Yes, thank you, Matt. We definitely appreciate having the ability to voice things.
Anytime.
And like I said, even after watching your video, your original video on purpose, like you said, it can relate to anything and link to anything. So when we look at purpose, again, I'm using my name or my personal, but looking at being ready for battle, I didn't even know, it had that origin. I had just looked it up and saw the noble, the ready noble. And I'm familiar with it being of a Spanish background, even more so than Italian. But like you said, it being noble or ready for battle, that even, like you said, opens my eyes to me and the attitude that I have towards the world. So I want to thank you, because now I have a purpose to go find out what my middle name means, and even if I'm embodying what my middle name is.
All right, gentlemen. Well, if I can cut in, so listening to y'all made me want to listen to and find out what my name is. Yeah, for y'all too, y'all know my name. Y'all know what my name is. So funny, my name in Celtic means defender. Right?
Wow.
It suits me, I guess, right? And
I would say so.
And also poet. Which, and I find that funny because for a long time I used to read and write poems.
You gotta make sure the source information is accurate too, because a lot of times you're just going said, she said, or here's this is why one of the reasons personally I like to refer to the meaning of names to Bible meaning first, because the Bible was written before, way back in the day, kings and oracles. You couldn't write. This is why one of the reasons why in ancient times it was forbidden for people and slaves to read and write. It wasn't so much they were a slave or because they were black or anything of the sort. Even white people, whiteys, German, it was forbidden because it was kings and scrolls. Basically, it was legal for them. If you were going to write and read, you had to be of
noble descent
to be able to read and write. And it looks like we're having connection issues here, fellas. I don't think it's me.
Yeah. Go on. All right. Go on. Whoa.
All right. So I'm just going to pick up where I left off. So again, not to bring up the whole race card or none of that. Reading, the king had scribes that writing, and they had oracles, and the king would be connected to God, and the king was the direct link. God and man, and hides what word, it was illegal for authority to read and write.
Excuse me.
So you see, the whole people being able to read and write thing, it goes so much further and deeper than what most think. I don't know if you guys can hear what's going on. We seem to be having connectivity issues.
You're coming in and out a little bit, but if I can reiterate, I think I have a clear connection. A lot of what you were saying, besides slavery, it had nothing to do with race. It had a lot to do with being regal. It had a lot to do with royalty, and the direct connection between God and man was that king or that royalty. They use it in ancient Kemet in Egypt with the pharaoh and God as well. So the king definitely is connected to God or the higher power, whatever it is that one wants to hold beliefs in. But the reality is that's absolutely 100% true. It has nothing to do with race and slavery. If you were a slave, you just weren't fit to write or read. It's you were there for a different purpose. The king is there for a specific purpose, and that purpose was to educate and edify and rule over his subjects. And you have to have a connection with God to do so.
Yeah, Alonzo, you're cutting in and out, brother.
No. No. All right. So I heard we are having connectivity issues over here. I hear you, Alonzo. You're good. Jesse, my brother, you are choppy. It's like, geez, you gotta figure this out, man. This is actually a good one. Huh. Let's see what we can do to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Alonzo, if you want, go ahead, plug yourself in.
Okay, well, while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and while we're getting through these technical difficulties, I do want to say, if you would like a consult, I do free consult. Normally, I charge $150 for an hour consult, but I'm trying to do free consults now. You can find me on Facebook.com/ADHALLCO. That's AdHallCo. You can find me on Instagram at ADH Wealth Solutions /Alonzo Sells New York. You can find my real estate Facebook.com/Alonzo Sells NY. You can find my Instagram ADH Wealth Solutions. You can find my YouTube Alonzo Hall, and you can find my Facebook Alonzo Hall. All of which I will reach out. I will do a conference with people. My goal is to speak to this year at least 1,000 people who already have life insurance or some kind of a financial product. What I'd also like to say is not just myself, but any financial professional who comes to you and says, I sell life insurance, please hear them out. Because just like McDonald's sells you the Big Mac and fries. But when you go to McDonald's, you find out that they have apple slices and fish sandwiches and ice cream. Well, I tell you, I sell life insurance. That also means that I can help you set up your Section 529 college savings plan, your 401k, any type of retirement. These are things that I'm not going to tell you about until we start with the life insurance. Because again, often many people will start off trying to build their financial house from the roof down, starting by saying, I want to do investment. If a man came to you and said, if a contractor came to you and said, I'm going to build your house, I'm going to start with the roof, you would fire that man. You'd say, start with the foundation. Unfortunately, many people start with the roof and not the foundation. The foundation is life insurance. That's what your house, your financial house sits on. Then you build the next level and the next level and the next level. So my goal is to educate anyone who wants that education and do so.
All right. So, gentlemen, the next part of this I do want to talk about is me and Alonzo had a discussion about what does it mean to hold somebody down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we spoke on it for quite a while yesterday, but we would like to hear your thoughts, Jesse.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure what you asked because it's for some reason you guys have been real choppy. So it's I don't know if it's a streaming issue or what's going on. So I'm gonna ask you a question if you don't mind, please.
Okay.
All right. Is everything good on your end, Snoop?
Yes.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. What about you?
Yep.
Is it choppy for you? Is it choppy for you, Jesse?
Choppy. Yeah, you guys are coming in choppy.
All right. All right.
Part of why when I was based on my guys were
Yes. Yeah, I'm getting the same choppiness from your line, Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing was, your guys' screens went black on, and I couldn't even see your guys' faces. I was thinking, oh man, I don't know if we're losing or what. So I want to make sure that the message is coming through clearly because, you know, there is no communication if you can't listen with somebody's things. Want to make sure that I'm understanding every question. You know, it's number one rule in communication.
Let's see.
So, if I may, Jesse, let me give you a little background and caveat to the holding down. And the reason I want to ask that is because everybody has a past, obviously. And, I came from a past that was, listen, in the Black community, we fall for it all the time. And in the Latin community, we fall for it all the time. Everybody wants to run the streets. And, especially coming from like single parent households, and a lot of the demographics that we're going to see, us as men look for approval from other men. It's just natural that we do that. Men are as much as we're loners, we're still packs. And we look for that approval from other men to validate our manhood. Often, when with those checkered pasts, we consider themselves soldiers or non-civilians because they live a certain way, a street life. We'll use like Tekashi 6ix9ine as an example. He ratted, but everybody's mad at him for ratting, even though the reality is this man did this because if I go to jail, are you going to take care of that daughter that I have, or my mother, or the child of my mother? And the reality is, in most of these situations, people coming from the streets have this code of ethics that I think a real man doesn't have. For example, a regular man would not be like, oh, I'm going to hold these dudes down for this criminal element, and I'm going to do jail time while they're out free. But in the non-civilian lifestyle, that's almost all you have.
Yeah.
So my question would be, as a civilian and a non-street person, does that make, he fell out. He's probably gonna have to come back in. But as a civilian or a non-street person, does that make any sense? And would you hold someone down?
Well, I guess, we'll have to wait for Jesse to come back. So I'll give my take on that. And my thing is, for a person that is a civilian who lives a civilian life, you do not live by the code of the street. You live your life as you want. And if you see something happen, you it's your prerogative whether you want to say something and help or not. If you see somebody getting robbed, if you want to jump in and help the person, if you want to call the police, that's all up to you. And nobody can say you're right or wrong for the action you choose.
Mhm.
But if you're a person that play that game that we call the streets, then you have no right, no business even being involved or around anything that has anything to do with any sort of law enforcement.
Mhm.
Do it make sense? Fuck no, it don't make no sense. Did it ever make sense? It never made sense. I think we got Jesse trying to get back in here, so we're gonna cut him in and here we
All
go.
right, fellas, this is any better now.
Yes.
My apologies. I don't know if the connectivity is on my end or not, but it dropped off, so I can only assume that it was my end.
My bad. I was starting to think you ain't like black people.
Look, he wouldn't be up here with two black men if he didn't like black people.
Oh man, but yeah. So like I said, if you live a regular 9 to 5 life, you go to work, go to school, you're not involved in any street activities. You calling the police if you see a crime being committed, not a big deal. At least in my eyes, it's not a big deal. You're doing your job. You know, if you are a street person, like and you are in that life, then in no way, shape, or form should you be talking to police or any law enforcement. Like I said, is it? Do I believe it wholeheartedly? Like that's the way it's supposed to be? Like nah, I don't. I believe that we make choices, and the choices that we make, the outcome of them choices, you have to deal with. If you commit a crime with people and they get caught up and you get caught up with them, then you bite that bullet. Now,
Yeah. So
if you're a nobody,
topic of choice, right? Like race card, or is the topic of
No.
choice like some choices?
So yeah, I think
Gotta
in the middle
forgive
of
me,
me
guys, because
explaining
again,
it
I
to you.
dropped.
No problem. I think in the middle of explaining it to you, you had got cut off, so you didn't get to get the full nice. You didn't get to get the full story behind it. So basically what we were saying is, as a regular person who's not involved in the streets, how do you feel about holding someone down? And what I said was basically people in the streets are going to hold someone down in the fact that, listen, we're all committing crimes together, this, that, and third. You guys didn't get caught, I got caught, right? But we all committed the same crime, and the police saw me. My job as a solid street guy would be not to snitch, not to say that you guys were involved, and to take all of the jail time. In doing so, you are supposed to be holding me down by putting money on my commissary, putting money into my family's household, protecting my family, rearing my children in my absence. Generally, it doesn't happen. But how do you feel as being a non-street dude, just like ourselves, who sees that, and what does holding someone down mean to you?
I mean, personally, I think it boils down to a state of mind. You know, it's just like a child when a child gets in trouble for doing something that he or she knows they're not supposed to do. They look for the most easy and convenient excuse to get out of it.
okay.
You know, for some people, it's a color thing. For some people, it's a well, he was doing it, so I did it. You know, for some people, I mean, literally, it's whatever the most convenient excuse is to get out of it. But at the end of the day, I think it's a state of mind, really. It's a behavior taught to them from childhood, from their uncles, their fathers, their moms, their whatever. These behaviors they learned and picked up from childhood. And believe it or not, friends that you keep, a lot of the friends will portray certain images, portray certain lifestyles that, you know, you may or may not want to partake in, but nonetheless, you know, the facade of what is put before you, you know, having that baller mentality, that hustler mentality, whatever it is, I think it's a state of mind and learned behavior as people in a situation like that in the first place, and not being able to make a better choice to hit differently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you hear ignorance is bliss. Well, some people, you know, different levels of ignorance. And the ones that don't know that they're being ignorant, it doesn't make them any less intelligent or silly or stupid, or so to say. They're unfamiliar with what it is that they're getting involved in. And by default, it would make them ignorant. And it doesn't mean that they're stupid or lack of intelligence, but lack of knowledge and lack of wisdom for something can make someone ignorant by default. So not being able to make the right choice just puts them in a situation know any better, how better.
Okay. I'm having difficulties with my cameras, gentlemen, so I had to turn my camera off.
Oh no, I hear you. I hear you. Well, my whole thing is, if you don't do the crime, if you can't do the time, keep it. If you're not about that life, keep it 100 with yourself. It's too many young people are led astray by the hopes and dreams of people that never made it and never will. And that's just facts right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have older people leading the younger people, and it's like they're living vicariously through the people that they're using. Is there loyalty? There's no loyalty anymore. I mean, I remember growing up, there used to be a thing about, about loyalty and holding people down. And we've all held somebody down. Like, as you get older, you realize what's more important. You realize your family is important. You realize trying to provide for your family and
Yeah.
be better for yourself, so your overall is a brighter future. You know, people live with this stigma of well, we're black, and they're always going to treat us like trash, and so what is there for me to work for? What is there for me to even push and try to do anything productive with myself? Like, come on, you get out there, build a brand, motivate somebody, motivate yourself. Hell, there's a lot of kids that need mentors. A lot of kids don't have that big brother in their life or that big sister. You know, like, and this is real talk. Like we was talking yesterday. Come on, I was. What happened, Jesse?
You know, it's at the end of the day, you're not living for anyone else. You're living for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those situations where you're not living to make somebody else better. You're living to make yourself better. But yourself better, you're going to make someone else better as well. This, and I understand this live that we're doing right now. We get tied right back into purpose. The purpose of you doing this is to make yourself better. And in doing that, you're also making Alonzo and myself better by default, just because you are making yourself better. You're living for you. So if you weren't living for you and making yourself better, we're having a great live, a choppy live, distorted live. We're still sitting here changing somebody's life, even if one person watches this video. So I think it's real important for people not to lose sight of the fact that you gotta live for you first. And once you're doing somebody else, when you, mom, let me tell you, I'm happy for you, man.
Oh man,
That's
appreciate
why, and you remember I told you, you came to me and you said, he was like, Jess, if I was gonna do some live videos and start doing my blogs and stuff, would you be game? And I looked you right in the face and I said, absolutely, I got you. And the reason at that moment that you were doing yourself better.
I appreciate it, my brother. Appreciate it.
Hey, who knows, man? This could be seed for something major. And I'll be
I don't know.
part
This
of
might be
it.
a new hot topic. I don't know. I don't know.
Breakfast Club.
You never know. You never know. Like, all of us bring something to the table. Like, we got my man with the ADH Wealth Solution. We got my man Jesse. We're gonna call him the King Smoothie, right? Because any smoothie you want, you go to my man right here. You know what I mean? That's the Smoothie King.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And words of wisdom with each cup. So me, myself, and I'm just the chronicle. I just like to, I just chronicle things. You know, I'm don't let the glasses fool you. I got a stomach full of butt with. See, I ain't trying to be demonetizing now because I would be cursing. Y'all know I like to curse. But boy, it's so hard to find words to cover my vulgarness. God help me. But I appreciate y'all brothers for being on my live. Alonzo and Jesse, like, yeah, y'all really are cool, man. We definitely have to do this again. We have to do more. I want to go to the range. I know y'all brothers like to go to the range.
Yeah.
You know, I like to shoot big guns. Y'all like to shoot big guns. Heck, I'm gonna go on my Talladega Nights. You know, I like to go fast. You know, like I like to go real fast. If you ain't first, you last. But oh man, hopefully
we might have to get a line.
yeah, hopefully we can grow our platforms and our brands and touch a lot of people.
Let's hope so.
Heck, you know, it's the best thing in the world to just be able to do what you want with your own stuff and your own channel, and especially when you have good people behind you. Like we were saying yesterday, when you have good people behind you, anything can happen. You want people that's gonna push you in the right direction. You want people that's not gonna be yes men. You know, they're telling you they'll let you know when you mess up. Like those are the type of people you need around you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, holding somebody down means a whole lot. Is a whole lot different meaning to me now than it was when I was growing up. Like, we help each other. that's
Right.
hold each other down.
Right.
Look out for each other. You know,
Right.
one fall we pick them up. But so Alonzo, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know if you back there munching or something. But, you know, you need to share the wealth.
No, I'm just having a computer glitch here at the moment. And I had my smoothie this morning.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying, you know, hey, Chronicle Mac strikes again. You got another person on the smoothiness. Oh man. Now if only we can get my brother on it, then we'd be good.
Oh, we surely will. But gentlemen, I actually am going to take a little midday nap because I have a lot of appointments later on this evening. So I am going to hop off at the moment. Please continue to show because I will be watching on YouTube. But
we 40 minutes into it, bro. You know, I'm gonna have to take me, or not even take me a nap. I'm gonna have to go check on my baby. You know, and after that, then you know, hopefully we can start this up a little bit later too.
it sounds like a plan.
Gentlemen, it was nice doing this with y'all. You know, until later.
Until later.